Foraker with Dan Murphy here on Big Shot Bowling, and to get it rolling is Don Richmond, the challenger from Holbrook, Massachusetts. And here he goes on lane number 29. Oh, did he ever go in fine fashion as he records the strike?
1-2 pocket. He scrambled up good. Crossing over, nice and tight. 5-pin, 9-pin, gone. Strike.
Looking for the double.
Same looking ball going in, and result just a little different. 5, 8, 9, 10.
If a guy gets a triple strike, he'll win himself a trip or two to Atlantic City. Compliments of Freshmont Travel, and they're located in Natick, Massachusetts.
8-pin, as we're talking, fell over. He's got a 5, 9, 10. A lot of wood there and favorable. That should go.
Yes.
Quick start.
The spare on the strike. And let's watch the spare on the strike here in the replay.
Just hits the 5-pin. The wood does the damage for the 9 and the 10, and he's off and flying with a strike spare.
Here's our defending champ, Steve Vadney. He got a win last week over Bob Gregory.
Oh.
He starts off with a strike. Here's that strike by Vadney as he lifts off his first string.
Also 1-2 pocket.
He's going after the double on lane 30. Let's see if he can do it.
A little light. Well, wood turned nice for him. 2 pins the object pin. Plays the wood on the red line next to the 2. Could jump the 2 into the 10. After wood carry the 7, the 8. No, he's on the 2 pin, too heavy.
The winner will be picking up a couple of $100. The runner-up, $100. And the winner gets the big shot at the end of the show. He'll have a chance to get a triple strike. If he gets a triple strike, to win himself a brand spanking new Thunderbird. Compliments of Duddy Ford, located in Westboro, Massachusetts. Both bowlers, Dan, by the way, I'm sorry, will be receiving trophies from George Girton Trophy Center, and they're located in Worcester, Mass.
Yeah, nice looking trophies they are. I'd like to congratulate Ed Emerson and Diane, who are married today.
Oh, I really congratulate Diane. I know Ed. He's son of, you know, I didn't realize that he was the cousin of Captain PJ.
No, you missed it, Bob. He may be the cousin, but he is the runner-up look-alike for Fred Flintstone.
That he is?
Yes. We have a lot of fun with Ed.
He's a great guy. Rumor has it that they slid down the aisle. Is there any truth to that?
Well, you know, they met, and Ed decided she was right up his alley, so they decided to get married. Congratulations to both of them.
Here's Don Richmond. Don with a strike and then a spare on it. And fill him a 7 on the spare.
Oh boy, nice shot.
Nice,
He's off and flying.
Nice
1,
spare.
2, 6, and 10. And clears out the 1 and 2 with the ball. The wood does the damage with the 6 and the 10. And 3 marks out of 4 boxes for Don Richmond.
Not too bad. Here's the champ, Steve Vadney.
Steve's trying not to let him run too far away.
All but the 7. He'll have to go pin picking to get a spare.
Nice on the 7
the button. A strike and a spare now for the gentleman out of Claremont, New Hampshire.
A 9 fill, and we've knotted all up after 4 frames. Not so. 5 fill.
So he's down by 4.
Talked to Steve after last week's match. He said a lot of times he was losing his balance when he was releasing the ball. That's usually a sign that a person is coming up instead of staying down, bent at the waist. When he releases the ball, you start to come up, straighten up, and your body momentum is going forward, and then you try to go up, and it kind of confuses yourself. You know, you lose your balance a little bit.
A 9 count for Steve. There it is. A 51 to a 56, plus a ball for the man you're looking at, Don Richmond. First time ever for Don here on Big Shot Bowling.
I tell you, he is pounding the head pin with that first ball, especially on lane 29.
Loads up the spare with a 9 count, going after the 10 and hoping to get his 3rd spare along with 1 strike. This the first of 3 strings. Looks like Mrs. Riley's duck soup. But one never knows because it's starting to roll out again.
Fell just off to the right of Don Richmond there in the blue shirt is next week's challenger, Doug Smith. He's here to watch the competition.
Yeah, Doug comes from Braintree, Massachusetts. And a spare for Don. Don now with 3 spares and a strike. Nice.
Oh, it's coming forward. That's
Yes.
gone.
Backdoor strike off the bowling of Don Richmond. I want to watch that one again on the replay, and here it comes, folks.
It's a light hit on the head pin. Leaves himself the 3 and the 6. Watch the wood forward, roll forward into the 6, and eventually into that 3 for the strike on spare.
And Vadney up, dropping a half dozen, looking down at the 4 horsemen, the 1, 3, 6, and 10.
Outside, yes.
Got him. Oh,
Domino
lasso.
effect.
That's the second spare. Let's watch him lasso him again. Of course, in Claremont, New Hampshire, you get a lot of time to play with your lasso. And he got him. Here he is.
Those people from Claremont are a lot closer to me, Bob, than they are to you.
I know that.
Let's not get them too riled up.
What a beautiful part of the country, Claremont, New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah, sure. Try to bail yourself out now. It is nice up there.
Tough one for Steve. He missed fired on that one.
A lot of professional athlete. Another professional athlete comes from that area. You know who, Bob?
Carlton Fisk.
Carlton Fisk, of course.
Yep. Carlton does a little bit of candlepin bowling.
Yes, but you know Carlton's mother is an excellent candlepin bowler. I mean, very, very good.
So here's the man who's up by 16 and working on a strike.
Oh,
Looking
boy.
for the double low.
Well, he has got that lane 29 just zeroed in. He's had 5 marks out of 6 boxes, but listen to the fills. He threw a strike in the first box, filled it with a spare for 10. He filled that spare with 7. Filled the spare in the 4th box with a 9. The spare in the 5th, he threw a strike on it, and he's got at least a 9 fill on this mark. I give John Patorsky a big hand, but little did they know that he knocked down the 7 pin on lane 30 when he was removing the 1 on 29.
Those things happen. John is our official. And the lady that you see on the scoreboard, her hand right now, that's Bert Perangeli, and our statistician.
Look at that strength. 105, 115 in a ball in the 7th. Great opening game by Don Richmond. Another in the pocket.
Dan, you stepped on my tongue. I was about to introduce our statistician, and you
Oh, excuse
jumped
me,
in
Bob,
there.
but we're in the heat of battle here.
I understand, but we got to give credit where credit's due to Cheryl Young for doing a superlative job.
Let's not build her up too much. It's a long day, you know. She.
Oh, yes.
Oh, a lot of time to make mistakes.
Look at that
Another
score.
mark.
5 in a row.
Watch this. Off the wood, ball, pin in the wood at the same time. 4, 8, 10 for another spare. 7 marks out of 8 boxes for Don Richmond.
2 strikes and 5 spares. Here's the champ, Steve Vadney.
1, 5, and 9. Spread eagle plus that 8 pin. Oh, nice try. Nice try.
Steve with an average of a 129. His best high single, a 197. His best 3 of 4, 88. Talking about high triples, that 510 by
That's
Don
incredible.
Richmond.
That's incredible.
Don's best high single, a 199, and his average is a 123.
I mean, think of that, Bob. 510. You couldn't do that, even yourself, because you couldn't add that high, even if you're keeping your own score.
Take me about 7 or 8 strings to get to a 510, but that's all right. I keep on keeping on.
510.
Never quit. Here we go. Let's see if he can show us a great shot.
Wow. Very close. Tried to cut the 5 into the 10.
It's a delicate shot.
Steve's got a tiger by the tail, I'll tell you.
Steve with 2 spares and a strike, but as you said, that tiger by the tail has 5 spares and a couple of strikes in the name of Don Richmond from Holbrook, Massachusetts.
Right now he's in the midst of a 5-mark string. He's got 2 spares, a strike, and then 2 more spares. And again, on the head pin this time. Broke a little sharper to the left. A little full, 189.
very interesting and very frustrating lead. He's going to try to bail out of it to the best of his God-given ability. And he bails out of it with an out.
It's only the second pin that he's left standing. You can see a 9 box in the 3rd frame and a 9 box there in the 9th frame. Other than that, all marks.
A 144 with 1 to go in the first.
Again, back on that head pin. 5-9.
A 152 and moving. Both of these bowlers are members of the World Candlepin Bowlers Congress. In order to be on Big Shot Bowling, you have to be just that. Yes.
Covers 154 in a ball.
6 spares, 2 strikes for Don Richmond. What a way to start up your first time here on Big Shot Bowling. The record for the high single on this show is a 180 recorded by Tom Surratt.
160. Whoa.
What
a game.
More. There it is, a 160 in the first for Don Richmond. Now, Dan, when you're trailing a guy that has just thrown a 160, what are some of the things you have to do?
Besides break his legs.
To get back.
Well, you can't expect to get back in a few boxes. The thing is not to get shook up. Steve is not that type of bowler. You just got to play your own game. Hope the guy cools off a little bit. It's not a defensive type game. It's all offense. And Steve is trying to put a few marks up himself, get a few of them back, get a few back the next game. Hopefully be in range and coming into that 3rd game.
Spare number 3 recorded by Steve. Down to his last box. He'd like to strike out. He gets 1 strike. He now has 2 overall. A couple of more and he'll have a trip to Atlantic City.
It looked really bleak there for a while, but that was a big box. Strike on spare. He could possibly be within 25 pins.
Here he goes. No double. He's down by 30 at this juncture. Final ball coming up in the first. And a 9.
Not bad. He's within striking distance.
He came back with a 133, a very respectable 133. But you can see it after 1. Don Richmond, the challenger, in the driver's seat with a sizzling 160 to a 133 for the champ, Steve Vadney. Here's the man who's trailing it by 27, Steve Vadney, as we are about set to lift off the 2nd game. In the first game, it was a 160 for the challenger, Don Richmond, and Steve Vadney with a 133. Great bowling by Richmond, solid bowling by Vadney.
Picked up a lot of pins the last 2 frames, Steve Vadney. It looked very, very bleak for him. He was looking at possibly a 50-pin deficit for a while and cut it down to 27.
Exactly. A 10 for Vadney. Vadney, en route to that 133, had a couple of strikes and 3 spares. And for Richmond, he had a half dozen spares and a couple of strikes for his 160 game.
4 horsemen, 1, 3, 6, and 10.
The 2 open frames for Richmond, he had a couple of 9s.
Again, Steve looks a little off balance when he approaches that fouling, just at the point of release. Seems to be losing his balance a little bit. That's a little better.
Not quite, though. A 10 and then a 9 for 19 after 2 as he starts off in the 2nd game.
The game becomes psychological here, too. Steve knows this fellow's hot as a pistol. If he can continually get a couple marks here, it's going to start Steve thinking a little bit. And
wow.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, that lane 29, you can make a living on that lane, I'll tell you.
Strikey, yeah.
And there's no doubt about it. This time he tries the 1-3 pocket. Trips that 4 for the strike. Ball breaks a little bit right to left. He's got the right speed.
For the double.
Okay. Steve says, stay on lane 30.
Yeah.
Trying to cut the 3 and the 6 into the 2, 4, and 8.
Back in 1982, Don Richmond was on the Massachusetts State Teams Championship. And in 1983, he won the state singles. And in 1985 in Massachusetts, he won the mixed doubles. He's been on the tour for 7 years. And
Well,
last year, he ended up 5th in the overall standings of the WCBC.
okay, I guess I have 6 years, but I guess he's starting his 7th year, which
Something
is correct.
like
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
How many years have you been on the tour now, Dan?
Ooh. I'm in double figures a long time ago.
What's this, the 15th year now that was just lifted off, I believe?
15th to 16th, but who's
Give or
counting?
take. Yeah, who's counting? The new president this year, Don Riley. The new vice president is Jack Ray.
Don.
Some people will be wondering if that's the Don Riley of the Wheel of Fortune fame.
That's one and the same.
One and the same.
Oh, Vanna, give me a vowel.
And then some. 10, 9, and 10 for 29 for Vadney after 3 in the second game. Here is Steve on lane 30, the lane that Richmond has not had good success on.
Oh, there's a strike.
Hey, baby, how about that? Strike number 3 for Vadney, along with 3 spares. Bang.
Gone. Now,
Here's
there's another
Richmond.
example of a bowler that was consistent. Last year, at the top of the show, I mentioned his ranking was 5th overall on the tour last year, and he doesn't have an individual victory under his belt. So again, very consistent, always there.
Six down and 4 to go.
Oh,
The only mark so far in this string for both guys, it's been a strike, as you can see on the scoreboard.
well, he's left 6 pins standing in the last 2 boxes. He only left 2 standing the entire string the first game.
Down and 2 to go, looking down at the 3 and the 6 for what he hopes will be a spare, and if it is, it will be his 7th one in this match. And his first one, and this the second string. Right there, on the money for the spare.
When it's there, he hasn't missed too many of them. In fact, he hasn't missed any legitimate spare leaves so far today.
Vadney hoping to get a couple of marks. Last time he had the 4 horsemen, he got them all down. Let's see if he can do it again.
Last time he played on the outside. This time he's going inside.
Hey!
Result the same. On strike this time.
Last suit him again. Here
A lot
it
of
is.
times with the plastic pins, you don't carry that 10 pin. The ball seems to go around the 10 pin with the lively pins. But this time he was able to, as you say, corral those 4 horsemen. Good looking ball. Light on the head pin a little bit. 7 pin drop.
Now let's see what's going to happen down there. He can scramble things up and come up with another spare.
Again, he's trying to climb in the match slowly but surely.
He's down by 28. 1 in this string.
3, 9, and 10. Piece of wood in between the 6 and the 9. I'm sorry, the 6, 9, and 10. No, I was right the first time. 3, 9, and 10. It's been a long summer, Bob. Nice shot.
Hey, he got him. He got him. Whatever was down there, he
Right.
knocked them all down. Let's watch it again. 3, 9, and 10. Or was it the 6, 9, and 10?
No, it was the 3. Well, ask Rosie.
Hey, there's a drop of 8.
Hey, he'll be coming on, Bob.
Yes.
Your buddy and I.
Rosario Lucchiata will be
Yeah.
coming on.
Several weeks down the
Yeah,
road.
down the road, but he'll make it. Last time he was scheduled to be here, he ended up playing bocce that day and had an alternate come in, and the alternate, John Waller. And he won for about 5 weeks in a row.
Oh, cherry pick time.
Yep.
Chopped out the 2 pin. Had 2 in the 5 and heavy on the 2. That's a little break for Steve Vadney.
So you never know. Even if Rosario qualifies, that's no guarantee he's going to get here. But he's a great bowler and a great guy.
And just finished third in the first tour, 13:33, the one that Tom Ulster won. Gary Carrington was runner-up. Gary Carrington, another one, always near the top.
How about for the gals?
For the girls, first-time winner last month, Janet Park from Concord, New Hampshire. Runner-up was Joanne Rosano. Janet, of course, an alley record, 12.94. Rollaway lanes at Biddeford. Joanne Rosano, 12.62. Marianne Kelly was third with 12.19.
I'd like to congratulate both winners, Tom Oster and Janet Park.
And as we speak, next weekend will be the tour event in the Maple Lanes in Brockton.
Look at that high triple, a 510 off the bowling of Don Richmond. He did that at the Empire Lanes, Massachusetts. Let's take a break right now. There it is, the second game after a half dozen. It is Richmond and Vadney doing Candlepin Bowling Battle. We'll be back with more exciting action, so stay with us right here on the... Back we come to the action. Steve Vadney
Got a string of 3 marks in a row working. Strike and 2 spares. Oops, off to the left, quarter break. 4 horsemen plus the sleeper in the back, the 9. 5 fill in the spare.
He's now trailing by 14 in the match.
He's climbing back. Another mark.
Yes.
4 in a row.
Nice shot by Steve. Let's watch that unfold again.
And there's momentum in bowling, folks. Swinging back the other way. This one, Don Richmond seemed he could do no wrong. He's struggling a little bit this game. After an opening game of 160, if you missed us first game, you missed a great game by Don Richmond. There's a strike on spare for 5 marks in a row. He's back.
Back he is, Steve Vadney. Let's watch him as he fires down the strike.
1-3. A little slow in going.
It's all the same in the score sheet.
Exactly.
Here is Don. Now he's too full in the head, but he drops 7.
Wants that wood to swing around a little bit. Well, he's going to have a shot. He's going to play the 3 with a piece of wood next to it into the 2 and the 4. And it looks like he could make it. Nice shot. Nice shot.
Yes.
Excellent shot.
Oh, is it ever? 8 spares and 3 strikes for Don Richmond.
Just catches enough of the wood. Excellent. Wants that 10 to go. 6 fill.
Don hoping to pull off a good shot for a spare.
On the 2-pin, with the angle of the wood, if he's flushing the 2, the ball may carry him toward the 10-pin instead of splitting the 2 and the 4.
Yes!
Split it, and he used the wood effectively anyways. 2 marks in a row, and boy.
Let's watch that big yes again.
All wired there.
Were they ever? Oh boy, we got a whole bunch of marks in this game for both guys, as you can see.
Crowd's gathering too. SRO here in a minute, Bob.
Let's see.
Oops, he's going to get a break. If it falls backwards, he's going to have a strike.
Well, the last 2 times Steve Vadney has had this leave, he has executed it. It's not easy. Let's see if he can do it 3 times in a row.
One time he was to the left of the headpin and used a domino effect. This past time he split the 1 and the 3 and was able to carry the 4 horsemen. Inside again.
Yes!
Just like that. 3 for 3. And another mark. 6 marks in a row.
They use the lasso a lot in Claremont, New Hampshire, as I told you before, Dan.
131 in a ball. Oh, full. Spread eagle.
Let's see if they use the pea shooter up there and shoot down the spread eagle. Well, he got the left wing.
142. 143.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. He's right. He's back in this match.
Coupled with a 133. That's a 2-string count of a 276 for the champ, Steve Vadney.
In fact, he may have the lead depending on the fill. No, Mr. Richmond's going to have something to say about that.
Don dumping down 9, hoping to spare right here.
He's got 2 choices. I know which one I would take. can play the pin or he can play the foot-long pin. That's
going the
whoa,
foot-long
and
pin,
he used
and he got it.
12.5 inches of it there.
Spare number 10 overall.
He's shaking his head like, whoa.
Whoa, there's 3 marks in a row now for Don.
I wanted to use that wood, but not quite go that low on it. Good fill, another 9-pin drop. And just when Steve thought, oh, back in the match, Don's getting a bunch of them back.
Here is Don hoping to get another spare.
This time, same pin, 6-pin. This time he's going to have to play it clean.
Don is leading by a dozen
And he
in the
does.
match. There's spare number 11.
What a finish. 130 in a ball. A
1,
strike,
2,
he's got
3,
300
4,
for 2 games.
5 spares and 1 strike in this one. Last string he had 2 strikes and 6 spares.
This will be a little demoralizing for Steve Vadney. Come back with a 143. Thought he was going to gain some of them back. He's only going to gain 5.
And a 138. Oh my.
Wow.
Both guys displaying some excellent candlepin bowling here on Big Shot Bowling. There it is after a couple. The challenger, Don Richmond, leading it over the champ, Steve Vadney, with a 298 to a 276. Don Richmond leading it by 22 pins as we move into the final game. Richmond with strings of 160 and 138. And for the champ, Vadney, a 133 and then a 143. Dan, you can't say enough about these two guys.
No.
They're both on fire.
Don could do nothing wrong. Steve Vadney came right back. Momentum swung Steve Vadney's way for 5 or 6 marks that second game. Don Richmond finished up with 4 marks in a row. And that brings us to a 22-pin lead for Don Richmond.
There's the first bad box for Don.
I think he had a 6-box.
I didn't count that.
Oh, but first bad box this game.
Yeah,
And his second overall.
second overall. Right?
Bailed you out again, Bob. That's what I'm here for. Don't worry.
You got an old spare one, spare one. I hear you loud and clear.
1, 3, and 6.
Yes. Spare it up for Don in the second box after that 8 count.
Oh, my relatives back in Palmer and 3 Rivers, boy. I'm telling you, they're sick and tired of you picking on me. They're going to get some cards and letters.
They love me. Mom, she loves me.
Oh, Steve's going to start early. Back down to 22. He had that lead down, I believe it was almost into single numbers at one time.
I think it was down.
I'll punch that into the computer, see if we
it.
can come up with that, yeah. Until Don finished with 4 in a row that second game.
Let's go back to the second one. Yeah, it was down to
7 pins at one time. Yeah.
There's a 9 for Steve Vadney. Vadney from Claremont, New Hampshire. Last week, he defeated Bob Gregory with a 364 to Gregory's 343. Oh, my, that's tough.
Oh, I know how to do that.
Got the deuce. Let's see him come back with a spare right now. Come on.
Looks good. Almost 5-8. It's going to drop a few more to Don Richmond when he gets up to fill the spare that he has already in the second frame.
Back-to-back 9s for Steve. And Don is working on a spare. Don has had good luck and good bowling on lane number 29. And 6 more on the score sheet.
2, 4, 6, and 7. 2, 4, 7 on the left, trying to split the 2 and the 4. Right idea.
Don is now leading in the match by 28.
Mention next week's challenger is Doug Smith from Braintree, Massachusetts. I'll just read down some of the bowlers that will be coming on the next several weeks. Scott Rondelli from Stoneham, Mass. Bernie Duhamel from Brookfield, been with us before. Jackie Ray, Vice President of WCBC from Acton, Mass. That's right. Also, he was coached at one time by Captain PJ, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if Captain's going to be with him this time.
Yeah, he was way down with Steve, I guess against Steve Vadney. He almost came back with the help of PJ to win the match. Nice
shot by Don.
By Don Richmond.
Don now with 13 spares.
Uses the wood effectively there. Also, we have Chris DeFault of Alston, Massachusetts, Paul Berger from Hopedale, Rosario Lequiera from Webster, Massachusetts, and the old pro Al Gallant from Templeton. And there's a strike by Steve Vadney. Much needed strike.
Here it is again. Watch it as he buries it right in the 1-2 pocket. The pocket rocket for the strike.
What he really needs now is double, at least to get the string of marks to going.
Down by 28.
Sliding by to the left on lane 30. If I remember correctly, last week he had trouble on lane 30 also.
Steve now with 5 strikes and 7 spares. Don with 3 strikes and 13 spares. And a 9 box for Steve Vadney. We're in the final game. The winner will be picking up $200. The runner-up, $100. And if anyone gets a triple strike, he wins himself a trip for 2 to Atlantic City, compliments of Fresh Pond Travel. And both bowlers will be receiving trophies from George Girton Trophy Center, located in Worcester, Massachusetts. And the winner gets a shot at a brand spanking new Thunderbird, compliments of Duddy Ford. What he'll have to do is get a triple strike at the end of the match. Simple as that. He'll ride out of here in a Thunderbird. And an 8 for Don. He let out a whistle that time. I guess you could say he's whistling while he works. He's trying to jump into the winner's circle. This is the first time for Don here on Big Shot Bowling.
This is the way he started the second game. And then he came on like a gangbuster there at the end with 4 marks. Well, it's going to take 400 to win this match, that's for sure. Well, Don Richmond's 298 after 2 games.
Don with an average this season of a 123. Last year, he finished 5th in the overall standings of the World Candlepin Bowlers Congress Tour. Well, they had 6 stops in the tour, and that's not too bad at all. Here's a guy who's been on tour for 4 years, our champ, who's in a bit of trouble at this juncture.
Missing that headpin with that first ball. He's really to the point where he's going to have to start stringing them together.
Steve Vadney with an average of a 129. Besides candlepin bowling, he enjoys horseshoes and softball. And for Don, besides candlepin bowling, he loves to play a round of golf. You know, I'm a good golfer, Dan. Besides
really?
being a good bowler, yeah.
No kidding. I guess I'm a good golfer, too, because my bowling score is the same as my golf score.
There it is, the strike off the bowling of Mr. Vadney, and we're going to be taking a break right here on Big Shot Bowling. We'll be back with the final 4 for each guy in this exciting match showcasing the challenger Don Richmond and the champ Steve Vadney. And as we come back, we're down to the final 4. Don Richmond will lead it off. He's leading.
This is where he caught fire. The last string, the last 4 frames.
Up by 28.
First game, he was on fire the entire game.
Oh, he had a 160, and then he dipped down to a 138, which isn't too shabby. And for Steve Vadney, a 133, and then he jumped up to a 143. At a 10 for Don.
Well, Steve Vadney wants to see no marks on Don Richmond's side. There's one box that he can hopefully put a mark up there and get some of that deficit back.
Looking down at the 136, and off to the left is the 7.
Oh boy, that wood is playable, and it's not in a very good position. The ball is, well, he can get by and hit the head pin. Let's see if he tries to play without the wood. That's what he's trying to do.
Oh,
nice try.
Well, certainly ugly wood there.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Whoa.
Hold on, Nelly.
Whoa.
Whoa, Nelly.
Well, there's 2 open frames for Steve Vadney to work on. 28 pins.
There's a 10, so here we go.
Minus
6.
Minus this fill.
Let's see if Steve Vadney can come running up from behind. Looking for the double. No go.
Well,
last 3 times he had the 4 horsemen. It was the 1, 3, 6, and 10. This time it's the 1, 2, 4, and 7, Dan. Can he do it?
let's see. Outside. No, heavy on the head pin. 7 fill.
A 7 on the strike. And a 9. So he now trails it by 19. And we're going to go down a little bit. Now it goes back up to 20.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
7 strikes along with 7 spares for Vadney. And here's a 7th strike coming up again.
It's 2 strikes on lane 30. Sandwiched between them is a 9. Well, again, Don can put a lot of pressure on Steve by putting mark or 2 up there. This one's going to be a good one.
Half Worcester for Don.
He moves the 3 and the 9. Half Worcester right.
He just flipped that object pin up, otherwise he would have found the bunny hole. 2, 4, and 8 down there. Not an easy shot. But he made it look easy. With a 10 count, a 96 with 1 to go for Don Richmond from Holbrook, Massachusetts.
Well, last box. Don would like nothing more to put another mark up. Whoa.
Wow.
Well, if he does, it's going to be an awful nice spare. This will be a superlative mark.
Oh, and then some. He's looking down at the picket fence lead.
Got to play the triangle, 5, 8, 9, and hope to get some action.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's going to be all up to Steve Vadney.
Don with strings of 160 and a 138. Now he's going to go down to a 105. A 105.
Steve Vadney is 127 to tie, 128 to win. He's right now at a 108 clip, but he's working on a strike in the 8th.
Don ending up with an outstanding 403. But a disappointing final game of a 105. Here's Steve. There's still light at the end of the tunnel, but that's not the way to find it.
Off the target on the lane 29. 4 horsemen plus the 9. Oh, good looking ball. 9 fill.
Hoping to climb out with a 10 count. And that's a lob.
That's a lob, and that's a big lob because now
my.
Steve needs a double strike. With that 10, if he had that 10, he would have had 107. A strike spare would have tied. Now he needs a double strike, 1 to tie. Of course, double strike.
Strike right here. And he knows it.
Oh, that's it.
We're going to have a new champ. Don Richmond will be jumping into the winner's circle, and he'll be having a shot at a Thunderbird when we come back after we conclude this string and take the commercial break. All Don will have to do to drive out of here, and the Thunderbird, is to get a triple strike.
Boy, if Steve throws a strike here, that 1 pin on the lob in the 9th box is going to look awfully big.
The challenger next week, Doug Smith from Braintree, Massachusetts.
Oh,
yes!
wow. Oh, no. Oh, boy, that would have been the tie.
Oh, my. That 1 pin.
It would have been the tie, the lob.
There it is. Look at that score.
402 and lose. Tough match.
403 to 402. And a great match by both guys. Will be back. And Don Richmond will have a shot at the Thunderbird. Compliments of Duddy Ford. But first, let's take a timeout for these commercials. Wow, what a match we had here with Don Richmond beating Steve Vadney by one slim pin, 403 to a 402. And with us right now is the runner-up, the guy who's been a past winner twice here on Big Shot Bowling from Claremont, New Hampshire, Steve Vadney. And Steve, that lob cost you the match.
Well, maybe. You know, we'd had to have a roll-off, but, you know, no one can tell, right?
Yeah. Well, it was a tough one indeed, but the way you looked at that 160, it didn't seem to phase you when Don had that 160 because you came back with a 133 and you hung tough.
Yeah, but Don's a good bowler. He didn't give me many openings. I mean, I was, you know, hoping he'd leave 2 open boxes, and it seemed like he kept going 1 out of 2 anyways. And I wasn't hitting 29 very well on the head pin, and I think that was the game, was myself off the head pin.
Well, you'll have to settle for $100 and a trophy from Girton Trophy Center, and here's Dan the man to make that presentation.
Oh, I'll shake your hand. I am alive. My hand's freezing here, but I am alive. It's chilly in here, but it's tough to hit 402 and lose, Steve. But like a true champ, you could have said, hey, it's over with after that first game, but you came back, and I'm sure you'll be back with us.
I hope so.
Nice having you with us. Let's have a nice round of applause for the runner-up, Steve Vadney. And now, Dan, we're going to bring up the champ, and he's going after the Thunderbird. All he needs is the triple.
Okay, we'll get out of his way.
By Duddy Ford in Westboro. Here we go, Don Richmond. Can he do it? He's going after the triple for a Thunderbird. Wow. He's going to continue. He's going to go after the spare, and if he gets the spare, he'll win himself an AMA gift. No. He'll have one more ball. And a 10 count. Let's have a nice round of applause for the new champ, Don Richmond. Come on in, Don. Great, great bowling, a 403. You didn't get the Thunderbird, but you had a shot at it, and you started off with a 160, and you thrilled a lot of people down in Holbrook.
I sure hope so. They've been wondering where I've been on the screen there, you know, and well, here I am.
Well, you hung on and you hung on tough. I know you're not happy with that 105, but it was enough to spell victory.
Yeah, I sure left the door open for him in plenty of spots, you know, and I don't know, that lob. We could have been having a 2-box roll-off instead, and who knows who would have come out of that.
Well, you got a couple of $100 and a trophy from Girton Trophy Center.
Here you go. Maybe the first of many for you. Next week, Doug Smith. I'm sure you know him.
Oh,
excellent
yeah.
candlepin bowler.
Yep.
He's a little bigger than you, too. So
A lot bigger. Maybe I better be careful.
We're not gonna box. We're gonna bowl. So you don't have to worry about
that's
it.
good.
Stay right with us, Don. We're going to close out this show. This is Bob Foraker for Dan Murphy and our new champ, Don Richmond. Thanking you so much for being with us here on Big Shot Bowling and inviting you back next week for more exciting action. See you then.